2 national championships, a Maxwell Award, 9,000 plus yards, 77 touchdowns. A.J. McCarron has done everything you could ask for in college. One of the most decorated quarterbacks of all time at the University of Alabama. And now he's going to Cincinnati, a team that a long time they've said, what do we do about Andy Dalton? Do we need another guy? Is this a guy that can push Andy Dalton in the 5th round?
Well, you're drafting someone in the 5th round. I know that he's going to push Andy Dalton, who's been to 3 straight playoffs, but he's very similar to Andy Dalton in terms of arm strength, what he does from the pocket. I like A.J. McCarron. I think he has some upside. I know there are reasons he fell in the draft. People are worried about overconfidence, the type of attitude he brings to the table, but he won a ton of games in college. He is accurate. I think he is a smart quarterback.
Yeah, he's played in a lot of big games, and he's been coached well. I don't think he's in Andy Dalton's class, especially in the arm category. Andy Dalton's got a pretty good arm. It's an above-average NFL arm. It's just maybe not accurate, and he's played bad in bad spots. But I am not a fan of A.J. McCarron. I think he had tremendous success at Alabama, more because of the team that was around him. And we can talk for days about all the players that have been drafted, but just throwing ability. It's below-average NFL throwing ability. That would really concern me. You watch the game film, there's a lot of yards left on the field. There's inaccurate throws. It's always a wobble coming out of his hands.
Yeah.
And off the field stuff, too, would bother me as well.
You know what concerns me? He's been the leader of this team for 3 years. You know how many times he's been the team captain? 0 times.
Yeah, also,
this is odd. A few months ago, we were breaking down A.J. McCarron. You know who said is a lot better than A.J. McCarron? Andy Dalton. You said it right there, and he happens to go to the Bengals, which I find to be very funny. Yeah. The other thing, Chris, I'd like to ask you, as a leader of men, what have you heard about A.J. McCarron in a locker room? Do you want him as your backup quarterback?
No, I would not want him as my backup quarterback. I have not heard great things about him as a leader in the locker room, being one of the guys. I think there's certainly some diva qualities. I think he's shown that even here in the pre-draft process. And then, of course, me, I'm a little bit old school. I mean, my dad's Phil Simms. He grew up in the Bill Parcells era. I wouldn't want to ever hear the word quarterback and reality TV show in the same sentence.
Can you imagine if Hard Knocks comes to Cincinnati? He's going to push Andy Dalton off the field to go, hey, guys, it's time for my glamour shot. But let's talk about him as a prospect. I need to calm down. A.J. McCarron as a backup quarterback in the 5th round gets what grade?
Well, I would give it an A because this is so low risk. I mean, it's a 5th round pick. This is a playoff team. They don't have very many openings. They did need a backup quarterback, a guy who could come in, learn. Even if he never pushes Andy Dalton and they re-sign him long term or go another direction, investing in a backup quarterback, a 5th round pick, is a pretty fair trade.
I give it a D. I'm just not a fan of him as a prospect. I don't think there's much upside. I think a second-string quarterback is his absolute ceiling. I really think he's more of a third-string type of guy. The one positive is, yes, he's played in a lot of big games, but I don't think his talent translates to the NFL. I don't even think his decision-making is that top-notch either. He was in an offense at Alabama that was run first. The passing game was kind of put on a platter for him at times. Very little decision-making, one-on-one matchups. I'm just not a huge fan.
And a great offensive line. Every year he's been there. He's got to learn to play in the pocket.
You know who gives this an A+? Beat reporters in Cincinnati. You just got an anonymous source. A.J. McCarron to the Bengals.